Hello.
Hold on. So nice. I just want to even us up there. Okay.
There you go.
Now you can say hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Today we bring you a discussion of art.
An absolutely remarkable thing by Hank Green.
Yes, indeed. This is going to be spoilery. We will link our spoiler-free discussion, our spoiler-free review, down below.
Awesome. I'm Jessica.
I'm Christeena.
And you're watching
Game of Tomes.
I have not heard your thoughts on it, except that you started to listen to it and then you couldn't stop. So it sounded like you really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so we both listened to this on audio on Jessica's Audible account because I bum everything from her.
Well.
So, when I started it, I was only listening to it like while I got ready for work. I didn't actually listen to it at work. And then one day I was like, I'll just listen to it. And I was like, I'll just listen to it for a couple hours and then I'll switch over to a podcast or something. And then I'd listen to it the whole day. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I'm enjoying this a lot more than I thought.
And I really enjoyed the narrator as well.
Yeah, I did too. I really liked her.
We should say her name.
Okay, narrated by Christeena.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
I can't find it.
Sieh. Christeena and Hank Green.
Oh, yeah.
Which was cool.
It was cool.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was into that. So overall, I gave the book 3.5 stars.
Oh. I gave it 4.5 stars.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I really, really liked it.
I think, I don't know, it's just sometimes I have a hard time getting into YA, and there were some things and sometimes that April got on my nerves.
Mm-hmm. I would call this new adult. Because she's in or out of college or something?
Yeah. I think she was still in college.
I think
No.
I think
she was
graduated.
At work. Yeah, she was graduated. You're right. Mm-hmm. But there were some things that I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I really got a ton out of it. But it was, I thought, really interesting topic.
Yeah, it could be a little didactic at times, or just really driving home a message kind of deal.
Yeah.
And that part, I think he could have been more subtle with his message a little bit. But I really, really enjoyed it. I don't know what else to say.
I did too. And I really did teeter between 3.5 and 4 stars.
Cool.
So I went with 3.5. But anyway, I took some notes.
Yay!
Okay. So first thing I didn't start taking notes like halfway through, whatever. April saying that she was lesbian as opposed to bi, letting her manager or whatever kind of talk her into that. Mm-hmm. It was it
made me, that was a mistake.
When she was like, sure, I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. And I feel like you could kind of see it coming, that that was going to be used against her later. Mm-hmm. But I do find that that's a very real thing that happens.
Yeah.
100%. That's a very real thing that happens. And I don't know, because I have a hard time being upset with people, because especially in a situation like that where she has no idea what she's doing and she's like, okay, I can't get mad at her for, someone else kind of pushing this thing on her. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a gray area for me.
I have a question. You said that April May got on your nerves, and I would agree. I think she is very much a Evelyn Hugo type character.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Interesting. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Which I enjoyed. I enjoyed seeing her mess up, and it's told after the fact. So she's like, here, I messed up pretty bad. So she's learned from her mistakes.
Yeah, and there was that part where she was talking about Maya and how she didn't text her back and kind of caused a fight to break up, and where she did state beforehand, I know I'm a shit person in this next part, so just sorry.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And, yeah, I mean...
I think, with anytime you tell a story or something that happened to you, you definitely color it with, I messed up, or, you know, you can see after the fact where you might not have done everything perfectly.
Yeah, and it definitely made her, like, more real, you know, as a, like, because there's definitely, everybody's done things where, like, in hindsight, you're like, wow, that was not good. That was not nice.
Right.
I was wrong. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's definitely, like, a human, real thing to do. Mm-hmm. So... yeah, I don't know why, but it took me a little while to realize that it was her telling her story, like, in the future, or, like, going back and telling her story, you know? Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay. And she kept talking about, like, this day, the day. And I was like, okay.
I felt like I was reading her biography years after the situation. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Also, well, let's go to your next note.
Okay.
We might get there.
Another one, April blowing off Maya, then causing a fight to break up. I really didn't like that. But, again, I think, like, in the circumstance, that is kind of, like, a very human thing that would happen or can happen.
Do you think they'll get back together?
I honestly really wish that they would.
Yeah.
Because I really like them together. And... which kind of brings me into, there was another thing on here, but, like, the whole thing with Miranda. I wasn't opposed to it.
Yeah.
But, like, the moment they hooked up, and then Miranda said, I can't believe I hooked up with April May, I was like, my heart just sank. I was like,
there was that moment in the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, too, where she marries that one guy, and then they're in the...
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, you know, because these people think, like, oh, they're my actual friend, you know, like, I can trust them, and, you know, they're not into me because I'm famous or a celebrity or whatever, right. And then, like, a comment like that, it's like, oh. Yeah. She did say, though, like, I know we're friends and stuff, but I mean, like, you're April May, you know, and I was just like, It was, like, a really awkward, that was one moment where I did really feel for her.
Me too. And I kind of felt like she should have maybe expected it too, because they hadn't connected on a deeper level.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't opposed to their relationship or them hooking up or anything. No. But I didn't feel invested into it like I did with Maya. Because I guess they had that history, and...
I kind of don't want them to get back together.
Really?
April and Maya, yeah. I think when you're with someone, well, not every time, but I feel like they've learned their lesson. April did Maya wrong.
Yeah, she did.
And if Maya didn't want to take her back, I would be okay with it. And then April would learn her lesson.
Yeah.
And move on.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, I shouldn't treat people like that anymore if I want to keep people in my life.
Yeah.
Which it sounds like she's afraid of commitment.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do feel like she has... learned her lesson and has kind of realized, like, her addiction to social media, and I know this is in my notes again somewhere, where she continuously talks about, like, just seeing that number go up. Yeah. Just seeing that number go up. And her just being so obsessed. Yeah. And it's like, ooh, that sounds terrible to me, you know? Like, I don't want to do that. Yeah. I have a Facebook, we have Twitter, we have a YouTube channel, so, I mean, I feel like it was very relatable, but I was like, ugh.
People talk about being addicted to Twitter a lot. Yeah. And I found recently that I'm addicted to Instagram. I'm scrolling and looking at photos all the time and finding new people, and I want to get my hashtags all right so that for my photography page. Yeah. And I tell myself that I'm doing it for work, that this is, you know, part of what I should be doing because it'll just get me noticed, and I should stay relevant.
And you can see that number go up.
Well, my Instagram numbers don't go up. I do find myself checking our YouTube numbers, though. Every time I'm on YouTube, I look at our subscriber count.
I think I've checked our subscriber count, I don't know, maybe 10 times. Right. Since we've created it.
You can ask me.
And a lot of times Jessica will say, like, have you seen her count? Yeah. And I'll go, no, let me go look. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool, you know? I don't know. I'm a Facebook junkie. Twitter, I hardly ever even get on anymore, which I feel terrible about because that's where, like, a lot of people interact.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know. I don't
get into it
when I get on it, I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I'm like, all right, I'm done.
That's how I feel.
And Instagram, I was on Instagram quite a bit before work. But now it's kind of like, I'll find myself just scrolling through Facebook. Facebook is like the dumbest thing anyway. Like, it's not even...
Yeah, memes and videos and...
Yeah. I don't know. So, Facebook is my thing, for sure. But, I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's ever been a time where I feel like subscribers or followers has really bothered me. Or, like, been an issue for me. Or, like, something that I've thought about a lot. And I mean, there's been, like, a couple times throughout our channel that I felt like, oh, okay, oh, that's so many people. Like, imagine that many people in a room. That's so many people.
Right.
Maybe we can get a few more, you know, and make it like an even 600. Or when we hit our first 100, we were like, oh yeah, that's awesome.
When we first started YouTube, I would get on YouTube just to look at our subscriber count.
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But it consumed me there for a while.
Yeah.
Just wanting to know.
Well, and I will say another thing, actually, that it doesn't pertain to our channel specifically, but if I'm looking for videos to watch of Booktubers, I tend to not watch those that have over 1K subscribers, which is stupid, first of all. I by no means should be like that. But I always want to, like, try and give back to, like, the lower sub channels. And there are channels that I do watch consistently that probably do have over 1K subs. Like, Samantha Leanne, she has to have over 1K.
She does now.
Does she? I mean, there's, a few channels that we've watched for quite a while that I will watch. Pages and Pins, Julie, she has quite a bit.
Yeah. As
well. And I watch her videos every so often. But I don't know, for some reason, it just, like, the more popular they are, I'm like, they already have people watching them and commenting. They don't need an extra person. I'll go watch someone who, could use the boost or something.
Sure.
I don't know. I don't want to be like that because it's a lot of work. And people who do put out content, like, regularly and have more subscribers, I feel like it is more work. I feel like I'm just being rude to everyone.
I do find myself gravitating towards the people with the same amount of subscribers that we have. Because I feel like for some reason we're on the same level.
Yeah.
But I branch out also.
Yeah. I need to watch more videos in general. But I don't know. There's something about listening to how in-depth April got sucked into this world that I was like, okay, that's scary.
Yeah.
Also, like, the video they went viral for, I was kind of like, if that was a video on YouTube that went viral, I would be like, okay.
Well, I feel like the reason it went viral is because they were the first ones to discover it.
Yeah.
And also, there's one in every major city.
Yeah.
So everyone is just wanting news.
Yeah.
And so
they were like the first. I mean, well, I could totally understand because if something like that happened, people would probably go on the internet and search,
right,
like, what's up with these, and like that would be the first thing that would come up. So, and I mean, I kind of liked their little bit of jest in it, their little bit of I want to say satire, but I don't know if that's the right word.
They were upbeat.
The little bit of comedy of like, what do you think, Carl? And him not saying anything, and it's like, So
I wonder if they're gonna make this into a movie.
That'd be kind of cool.
I feel like there's a big possibility.
You think so? Well, they make a lot of John Green books into
I know,
movies.
that's why.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, it was a really good first book.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna jump to the ending, but here's the thing. People immediately hating her and not, like, knowing her. There was a section there where she had a problem where it, like, really hit her, where she was like, wow, people, like, really hate me, but, like, they don't know me.
Yeah.
And I feel like, wow, is that ever true or what, you know? And I just...
That's the thing.
I feel so bad for viral famous people right now.
Any famous people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are like, I don't like so-and-so. Insert famous person. I'm like, you don't know so-and-so.
Yeah.
I just don't like saying that I don't like someone that I've never met. Or I don't like when people talk about how ugly a person is.
Yeah.
And they feel like they could just say whatever they want because they don't know that person and they're famous, so it's like fair game for some reason.
Yeah.
And they're people too.
They're like real human beings. Yeah. I agree.
Fictional
and like
person.
You know, somebody I know people could argue that like, oh, but they post stuff online all the time or on Twitter or Instagram, of course.
They're opening themselves up.
Right. But I mean, like, think about it. And everybody who posts something on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, it's always like the best side. You know what I mean? I would argue to an extent, it's always a calculated post. Or it's always a calculated photo. To some extent. Maybe not like to the extreme, but I'm not gonna sit here and take like no makeup and my glasses and haven't showered. I'm not gonna take a picture and be like, beautiful day. You know what I mean? It is a calculating thing when you get dressed up and you feel good about yourself and you go, I'm gonna take a picture. And to an extent, I do feel like that's, you know, calculated. That's planned out.
Sure.
And so, you know, we're only seeing like...
We should post ugly selfies of us right now.
Okay.
Just make like an ugly face.
I do that one on Snapchat a lot.
And the caption will be, keeping it real.
Do you want to do that right now?
I'm serious, yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. Are we going to do one on each?
Yeah. Are we doing Instagram or Snapchat? What platform? What platform?
Well, I do like Instagram.
Okay. Then I'll just go to my camera.
Okay.
Are we doing it this way?
Sure. If you would like to participate with us, we would love to see your ugly selfies.
Keep it real.
Or your messy room with just how your face looks. No filter.
Yeah. No filter.
GOT, hashtag GOT AART.
Capital G, little O.
No, it doesn't
capital
matter.
T. Oh, does it not matter?
No,
I don't know. Okay. I don't know Instagram that well.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, yes.
That was fun.
The point is, you know, you only see one side of these people. Just like for you guys, you only see the side of us that... I mean, I do feel like we do put out stuff sometimes that like we're not super proud of and we normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
But there are more sides of us that you necessarily don't see.
Right.
I mean,
Which is why we tried to do vlogs for a while.
Yeah. I've not vlogged at all this month.
Me either.
Not one single thing.
I think we just
do it whenever.
Yeah. We'll just we'll not do it right now, and then when we feel the need,
yeah, I agree.
we can talk about it and start it up again.
Well, because I showed my messy garage in one of them in October, and my footage that I've not edited. Maybe eventually I'll get to it, but I do show my bedroom, which is I'm not exactly super proud of, but I've kind of been transforming it slowly.
Yes.
So I showed some of that, and I didn't even pick up my bedroom before I showed a footage.
Yeah.
And in the video, I'm apologizing for how messy my room is. So, I mean, there are aspects, you know, like, we want to try and keep it real, and, you know, we're not perfect. We don't claim to be. I don't know. This is not about us. This is about art. But, yeah, I don't know. When she had that realization of, like, oh, man, people can hate me and, like, not know me, I was like, ooh. I do not envy famous people.
I don't either. And I used to want to be like a rock star or something.
Yeah.
A long time ago. I thought it would be so cool. And then I eventually got into theater. I remember the first time, or I just like kept imagining myself on a stage doing something really awesome, you know, and everyone would be so happy and excited and impressed or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember I was at a pep rally, and I stood up and I turned around to look at for someone. And there was, like, a sea of people behind me. and I felt my face get really hot.
Yeah.
And I was like, no one's really looking at me right now, but I'm standing up in front of this crowd of people, and I'm feeling very self-conscious.
Yeah.
I don't know where that was going.
I have a very big fear of public speaking. I cannot give speeches. My voice shakes. My hands shake. I get sweaty. It's ridiculous. And it's been, like, all my life. There's not a specific reason. It gives me really bad anxiety. And, like, if I have to give speeches, a lot of times I'll volunteer to go first because I don't have time to, like, freak out about it.
Yeah.
But I was in jazz band. I played saxophone in high school. And I would never, ever do solos, ever. Because I was terrified of, like, standing up in front of people and playing. And I didn't start playing saxophone until my freshman year. I played flute for a long time. And then I made the switch.
I forgot you did sax.
Yeah, I never actually learned, like, any scales or anything that you're supposed to do because they were like, we need more saxophone players. It's kind of like a flute. Like
Is it?
Well, yeah, the keys are the same.
Oh,
it's just like,
interesting.
But the mouth thing, no, totally different.
Yeah.
But they're like, who wants to do it? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And I loved it. I wish I would have done saxophone, like,
from the beginning.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
I thought your piccolo was so cool. I remember.
I thought I was so cool when I got to play the piccolo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I'm so good. I get the piccolo, you guys.
Piccolo mini, piccolo.
But yeah, I don't know. I've never been one to want to do anything like that. Like, I don't want to act. I don't want to sing. I don't want to do a solo. I really enjoy band because I really like hanging out with people.
Yeah.
And just being, like, part of people.
Band is fun.
Yeah.
Theater's fun for that reason, too.
Yeah. But I don't want to be on stage and have people looking at me.
Sure.
There was one time I wanted to do the solo, and it was in a song called Land of Make Believe, and the teacher refused.
Was it Miss Redcorn?
Yes. Because Logan was a senior, and I would always tell him, like, I don't want to do the solo. And he was like, that's fine, I'll do it. And there was one, and I said, Logan, I really want to do this solo. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And she would not. It was his senior year, and she's like, no, he's a senior, he gets to do it. And I was so upset. I never got to do that solo.
I'm allowed to say I don't like her, because I know her.
I don't like her.
No.
I had her 1 year in band, and then I did not do band my senior year.
Which is the only year I did band, which makes me sad.
Yeah, because I was in band since, like, 5th grade.
Yeah.
And my senior year, I didn't do it because of her.
I understand.
Yeah, and, I mean, there were also other classes at the same time that I wanted to do anyway, but that was not really... It was her.
Let's get back on track.
Yeah, anyway.
Is there another note you got?
Yeah, I have a lot. Oh, here's one. Where are the adults?
Well, they are adults.
They are there, and they are adults.
They graduated
You're
college.
Right. I don't know why, but in my head I have a hard time. I really think of this book as YA, and I think of these kids as like teenagers, but they're not.
No.
They're not.
And I actually really appreciated that fact because he could have made them teenagers, but I don't know. I just don't relate as much to the teenagers mentality.
Oh, I don't
a lot of times. And I like that he made them older.
Yeah. And I mean, there was the parts I did appreciate that he did throw in, like, the president's not very happy with you because you didn't tell our scientists or researchers about anything you were doing. You just wanted to do it on your own. Which is, I can understand both ways, but I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Like tell people.
Yeah.
But
they ran an experiment.
Yeah, they were like touching precious metals to this thing, and they're like, we don't know what this is gonna do.
Yeah. I loved how at the end they got everybody to touch gold.
Yeah. See, okay, that's actually another thing that... Oh, Ready Player One. This reminded me a lot of Ready Player One.
How's that?
When they had the dream and they had to go in and do different stuff.
Uh-huh.
And it kind of gave me that, like, Ready Player One feel.
Yes.
And it also gave me... What was the book I told you? I told you it made me feel like... Of course, Sleeping Giants a little bit because you have...
Because of the giants.
Yeah, but that's, like, it.
Yeah.
There was, like, nothing else
right
in common with that. But yeah, Ready Player One, I got some... I don't know why, I really got some Ready Player One vibes.
Well, they all, like, tapped into this thing.
Yeah, and they were all, like, working together, which I really liked.
I love that Maya turned out to be the one that was...
I do, too.
Like,
and I knew it! It's like, she kind of pushes her off and, like, doesn't have anything to do with her. And then she turns out to kind of be like,
I need you.
Yeah, I'm
Sorry.
super freaking useful, by the way. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And when she was like, I just felt so bad for her because she wanted to help, and then April was like, but what can you do? You know what I mean? And she's like, I'll show you.
Yeah, I really liked I don't know, just the fact that, like, she's become a viral sensation and how we can kind of see it affect her relationships in her life. Because then, like, she made some new friends, and Maya kind of, like, blah, blah, blah. Even her relationship with Andy, was that his name?
Is that the guy Hank?
Yeah.
Narrated?
Andy, the camera man.
I think so.
Andy?
Okay.
All right. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Even her relationship with him, I felt kind of deteriorated as well.
Yeah.
I mean, towards, there was that section where he wasn't really talking to her, and she knew that he was upset, but she didn't want to ask him why.
Away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's just like, but I already tweeted this. Did I tweet it too soon? Oh no! And kind of like her drive to want to figure things out on her own and be that person that's like, look, I did it, instead of having to ask for help.
One thing that I thought was very relevant to today was there was that whole group of people, and it's been like a week or two since I finished this book.
Yeah.
There was that lead guy that she went up against.
Yeah.
And he had his own group. Do you remember what they were called?
The Defenders?
Maybe. But it was just like, they had a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
And those people were letting the crazies, like with the mass shootings and stuff.
Yeah.
And I felt like that sort of rhetoric where it's fight or die.
Yeah.
Leads to people killing other people.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that at the time, and then not denouncing those people.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But also on the other spectrum of it, the people on the opposite side thinking those few people represent that whole group.
Yes.
And I think she did mention that at one point, but she was like, her mentality was so focused on, like, beating them, and
well, she thought she was absolutely right in everything.
Yeah.
And everything that they said was absolutely wrong, and they couldn't get together on anything.
Yeah.
When they did have some things in common.
Yeah.
And they could have had a calm, rational discussion about it.
Yeah.
But with their personalities, or they justified it in their minds.
Yeah.
That it's us versus them.
Yeah.
And
and
they get
just
nothing
attack
done.
versus, yeah. Well, and that's like when they had that debate thing, and he was like, so you said you're a lesbian. I was like, oh my gosh. It had nothing to do with what they were supposed to be there talking about. And she couldn't get past that and, like, focus on the topic. She's like, I have to defend myself. I have to, like, go after him, or, like, rationalize it or whatever. And it's just, it's so relevant. It is so relevant.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of along those lines, I did write, I wrote Turtles All the Way Down, singing with everyone together. There was a quote.
Singing?
Where we all sang at Turtles All the Way Down.
Oh.
When we saw
John and Hank?
Yeah, so when they did the video after the bombing, during the protest, she said everyone yelled too, and it was beautiful. And I find, like, it made me think a lot of Turtles All the Way Down, where we went and they were like, listen, we're gonna sing Sweet Caroline, but, like, we don't want anyone to say bum bum bum. Like, let's all be in this together in the silence. And it made me think a lot about, like, both of them are really about, like, everyone coming together and, like, doing something. And I really kind of felt that point driven a lot in this book, with, like, needing the help to, interpret the dreams or finish the dreams. And then, like, I yelled and everyone yelled too, and it was beautiful. And then I was having, like, flashbacks to Turtle All the Way Down with, like, everyone singing. And then, like, I don't know, it was just...
And I talked about this in our wrap-up some, but I really loved reading this book, because I feel like after listening and watching Hank for so long that I kind of know his voice already, and I could just see a lot of him in this book, similar to how we saw a lot of John in Turtles. Yeah. It was a really cool experience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there was another thing.
Okay.
Real quick. She talked a lot about building a brand and, like, what April would do. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's definitely, again, like, with anyone who's famous, it's like, well, that's not something that they would do. But we don't know them.
Right.
We just know, like, the brand of themselves that they've built up.
And the people that they portray.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there were some tweets where she's like, yeah, that sounds like something April would do.
Right.
And I was like, you know, to have to say that about yourself, it's like,
well, that she wanted that.
I know, but
I know. As soon as she became famous and decided she wanted to pursue this, she's like, okay, let's create a brand.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's very. Yeah, it was quite a comment on. I mean, we talked about this. It was such. What am I trying to say? It was quite the comment on, like, you know, social media and becoming viral and famous and what that means and what it can turn people into, because people can be very quick to judge someone who's famous and be like, well, and say very hurtful things or do whatever, when, like, in reality, like, people are human beings. Yeah. You know?
And if you're not showing that through social media and you're putting on some kind of face, but in reality you're living this other life.
Yeah.
You open yourself up to scrutiny, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm thinking of, what's that Duggar guy? The brother who got caught cheating on his wife, and there was that whole other scandal.
Ooh.
And at the same time, his brand was the doting father and religious. Yeah. He got very into politics, and he was telling everyone else how to live their life, and then really
behind closed doors. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm so torn on this subject, though, because it's like, you know, I feel like people have a right not to put everything about themselves out there for everyone all the time. And we kind of talked about this. We listened to Ear Biscuits talk about YouTube burnout.
That's Rhett and Link's podcast.
Yes. And how, you know, people can get burnt out because your viewers just want more and more of you. Mm-hmm.
And the algorithm for YouTube is that it rewards people who post every day.
Yeah. But I mean, there's, I don't know, just like the mental strain of, like, showing everyone every part of your life, mm-hmm. especially the bad parts or
just the good parts, and then them expecting you to be happy every single day.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we filmed before. There's been videos where we were gonna film, and then we didn't want to, or you felt like, you know, with your face, you felt like you couldn't express yourself, mm-hmm. and you were like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
You know, because it's just hard. Like, it's hard for us sometimes to, I don't know. We feel like we're always, like, so upbeat and chipper, mm-hmm. and, like, funny and friendly.
And that when we're not, the video's not any good.
Yeah, we feel like people aren't gonna,
like, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because we are not being silly or ridiculous.
And that's what people know us for. That's our brand. Oh no, it's happening.
But I feel like we've tried really hard to not let that get to us.
Yeah.
And even if we're being serious the whole time or whatever, you know, we have videos like that.
Yeah, and, you know, we don't want to put this pressure, or I don't want to create this mold for ourselves that we get stuck into, or that we feel like we can't get out of, or...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And there's so many examples of people who have just gotten online and been like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore because, I mean, people expect me to be a certain way.
Yeah.
I've seen a booktuber do it. I've seen Charles Trippy when he divorced his wife. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
Okay. everyone was shocked and upset because they had put on this front for so long that they were, everything was fine. Yeah. And he made sure that every video that he made was upbeat. He had like this thing where he would do a vlog every single day, and he did that for years.
Dude, that sounds exhausting.
And not only that, but he was hiding this fact that him and his wife were not getting along anymore. And so just one day he came out and said, we're getting a divorce. People were
blown away.
So angry and like hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, okay, but that's the thing I don't understand is how people feel hurt. I'm not saying that that's...
I do, because I have felt that way before, actually.
With Shay Carl?
Yes.
Yeah.
I felt like I personally was affected by this when I have zero to do with their marriage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was going to say, though.
I've been watching him for years.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, I can understand, like, I've never done that with a YouTube channel or anything like that. I've not watched it for years, so maybe it's just because I haven't and I can't, like, relate, but I can't imagine, like, putting out content all the time and having to be this person. It's exhausting. Sometimes you have bad days, and, like, sometimes we just don't want to film, or we're not in the headspace to film, or we're not in the mood to film, and it's like, when we film and try and force ourselves to be upbeat and chipper, it never works out.
No.
Never. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so it just makes me more upset.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And we try to take those breaks when we need them.
Yeah. But, I don't know. In my mind, I'm like, that's between them. Like, whatever. But I've never been like that. I can see it, though. You know what I mean? Like, you feel like you've grown up with these people. Yeah. And you've developed with these people, and then, like, out of nowhere, something happens, and it's just like, I guess I don't know you after all. You know?
Which you did in the first place.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. I wonder what... I'd be interested in the psychology behind this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't know.
It's an all new thing.
It's like a new addiction.
Sure.
For like, I don't know, just like wanting, I wish it was like a balance, because I feel like all you ever see is like the best side of people, and then when they can't do it anymore, all you see is their breakdown. And you don't really get that middle ground where they're like, it isn't okay today. Or it was an okay day today. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where it's like, like, no,
I really appreciate those people who do that, where they're like, today sucks. And, like, because I don't ever try to complain on social media. Like, I just don't enjoy doing it.
I don't either.
But when people are like, hey, today's kind of dull or whatever, I'm just kind of, I don't know. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I would be too. I mean,
I don't know what I'm saying.
Who doesn't have those days?
Yeah. I like it when people keep it real on social media. Let's do one for my Instagram.
Yeah. Join us.
Hashtag GOTAART.
Got art.
Got art.
Get art.
I like that. Got art.
Got art.
That's pretty good. But with 2 A's.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks for the discussion. Sorry this was, like, kind of scattered.
It was super scattered.
But I think there's so many good discussion topics in this book that don't necessarily pertain to the plot of the book.
Sure. Which, I did enjoy the plot.
Oh, I did too, and the ending, really interesting. I had to go back and, like, listen to it again. I was like, what was that? What was that?
Yeah.
So,
I listened to it twice, too. That's funny. Yeah, I'm excited for the next book. I don't want to know how it happens.
I do, too.
Yeah.
I do, too.
Okay. When you play the game of tomes,
you read or you die.
Come be our friends. Social media links in the description below.
And we hope you're reading a great book.
Bye.
Bye.
Lost, what felt like it all in a game. Every man I've measured died to hurt me before I could ever feel.